Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
Council
Texas.
continues to say they support downtown growth, but their actions really aren't matching their words. So we're stepping away from these things that support growth in downtown.
We're not ending events. We're not abandoning downtown and the development downtown. We're just moving them and restructuring to fit what's legal as far as funding goes.
Confusion and conflicting views have risen after Odessa City Council voted to defund Downtown Odessa Incorporated last night. In just a few minutes, we'll talk about what caused this decision and hear what both sides have to say on the matter. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you who are joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. Earlier today, the city of Midland reported police shot an armed man who was trying to escape from them early this morning. But the latest update from the city says the driver was unarmed. Officials say that just after 1 in the morning, police pulled over a man on the 3600 block of Blankhead Highway. During the traffic stop, the man, who police say had a gun in his pocket, tried to get away. That's when one of the officers on scene fired his gun at the driver, who was shot in the back. He was taken to the hospital where he is still being treated. The officer who fired the shot is now on administrative leave. Texas Rangers are now investigating. And the search continues tonight for a wanted man who led Midland County Sheriff's deputies and others on a chase that ended at Business 20 and County Road 1260 near the Midland International Air and Spaceport. According to the Midland County Sheriff's Office, the man got away but is still wanted and may be carrying a weapon. The Sheriff's Office tells CBS7 that the scene is no longer active and no arrests were made. The suspect remains at large, and this is a developing story, so stick with CBS7 on air and online as we learn more. And the Midland County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 people in connection to an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to police, officers were able to get a warrant for Devote Drain's home on Sunday. During the search, drugs were found within the home, and the second suspect, Gamarian Brown, was in possession of a handgun. Both Drain and Brown are facing multiple charges, including unlawful possession of a firearm. They're both being held at the Midland County Central Detention Center, and this does remain an ongoing investigation. Now we turn to continuing coverage on the Ector County Utility District, or ECUD. The ECUD board alleged public information requests from a few residents cost them thousands of dollars in recent legal fees. CBS7's Hannah Brock spoke with 2 of those West Odessa residents, and she's got more on what they had to say. Hannah?
Well, public information requests have been a point of tension between the board and residents who regularly attend their meetings. During the meeting, an ECUD staffer explicitly listed those legal fees with requesters whose names were attached. ECUD General Manager Debbie Hayes warned the board to expect high legal fees.
March bills are going to be substantially higher for attorney fees because the breakdown between the cap-offs on their public information request and the Shirley Kelly on hers, and then the county judge and the commissioners for the public opinion that was sent to the Attorney General's office.
Hayes listed the expenses.
The cap-offs was $18,890. Shirley Kelly's was roughly $1,500. And then, of course, those 2 were very instrumental in the cost of $23,820 for the Attorney General's opinion.
Ector County staff requested an Attorney General's opinion on ECUD oversight, which is due in June. ECUD was the only agency to submit a legal brief ahead of the ruling. Hayes and all present board members declined to provide further comment. Patty Kapoff says public information requests, or PIRs, are necessary to answer her questions about the district's finances.
I am not surprised they said that because they've started to say that. I think it's a shame that they want to shame public citizens who have a right to the information. If it were posted or if it were available or if we only had to ask for it one time, they would not incur legal fees.
The board adopted a PIR policy in January, citing substantial inquiries. John and Shirley Kelly often file requests.
They seem like they find these little loopholes, in my opinion, and it gets aggravating. So I'm going to try and get on the board, and I don't know if they want somebody in there that may rub them the wrong way, and I don't intentionally mean to do that, but I think there needs to be a different voice in there for an opposite side of what's in there now.
Currently, ECUD is accepting applications until March 28th for the vacancy left by Sheila Black's death last month. Her term ends in 2026.
So things need to smooth out, quit the arguing, and let's get on with business and try and furnish water for the people of West Odessa.
At the heart of ECUD is another topic: thousands of West Odessa residents who lack access to water. ECUD is at the helm of solving that. The board will decide which applicant will take Black's seat after March 28th. Applications are available at the district's office. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Hannah Brock.
Thank you, Hannah. For nearly 30 years, Downtown Odessa Incorporated has been hosting events and bringing new businesses to the Permian Basin. But last night, City of Odessa officials voted to stop funding the nonprofit. According to City Manager John Beckmeyer, the city has been providing Downtown Odessa Incorporated $450,000 a year through hotel occupancy taxes for the last 5 years, which has primarily come from the Marriott. Beckmeyer says hotel occupancy tax funds can only be used for things that enhance tourism and the convention and hotel industry. Under Texas code, every event, program, or facility funded with the hotel occupancy tax revenue must be likely to do two things. One, directly promote tourism, and two, directly promote the convention and hotel industry. But according to the city manager, the nonprofit is not meeting those criteria.
Events downtown Odessa put on are great events. We all love them, but very few people are coming in and staying in our hotels, participating in the convention center and that type of thing. Therefore, they don't meet that first criteria, and we can't even go to the second criteria to see if they qualify.
According to Craig Stoker, who is a board member of Downtown Odessa, the creation of the Marriott in Downtown Odessa every month generates around $1 million in economic benefit.
That means that the folks who are coming to stay at the hotel, they're going out, they're eating in our restaurants, they're filling up at our gas stations, they're shopping in our retail stores, and spending and leaving their money here in our community that wouldn't happen if that hotel wasn't here.
The hundreds of thousands of dollars that the city has been giving to Downtown Odessa Incorporated will now go to a separate account. Beckmeyer says qualifying nonprofits can apply to get that funding. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller. Tom, how's it looking out there?
Well, we are seeing fire weather start to improve across the areas. The wind is starting to let up. Let's take a look outside. Current temperatures are cooling off nicely, still very comfortable into the lower to mid 70s across the Permian Basin right now, as the wind again has down to calm now in Odessa and Andrews, a west wind about 5 miles an hour in Midland. So we are starting to see some improvement, and only some gusts up to 21 here in and around the Hobbs area is what we are currently dealing with. The big news is humidity levels starting to go back up across the area, and so we have about another hour on this red flag warning across the area. But after that, we will see things improve quite a bit, and we're on our way to another cool evening. I should say the overnight hours down around 50 on the overnight low. Another cold front's on the way, and it's going to bring some bigger changes to our forecast that we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Tom. And it was spring break weather. There's a lot of smiles and sunshine today at Centennial Park as the Midland Downtown Park Conservancy Project provided a way for families to have something to do during their spring break.
Weekend. Yeah, I might have a lot of days home. Lot.
Even though kids are out of school, they were still learning and playing all morning long. Basin PBS was there with their educational show, The Wildcrats, engaging kids in activities that matched the lesson that they were learning.
Everybody is having a lot of fun. They're doing activities together, which we love and we think is super, super important, and just having fun on a Wednesday and during spring break.
Keep Midland Beautiful was also in action, teaching valuable lessons in a playful way. They organized games like Trashketball and running relay races, where kids toss specific bottles into recycling bins. For more information on how your child can get involved, you can go to our website, that's CBS7.com. And in some cute education news, Preschoolers at Primrose School of Midland at Westridge donated 450 books to High Sky Children's Ranch. That's to promote literacy during National Reading Month. It's all a part of OG's Beautiful Book Drive in honor of Primrose friend OG the Bookworm, who represents caring and literacy by sharing his love for books. And a group of local businessmen sat down at a small cafe on Grant Street in Odessa, creating a plan to share that chuck wagon-style cooking. They also want to share that West Texas hospitality. The small organization grew on what they are today, and now they're feeding people in other states and countries.
We were created as a way to promote the city of Odessa to the region. That kind of grew to the state of Texas, the United States, and now to the world. In our history, we have been in 26 states and 9 foreign countries.
And even after 84 years of serving the Permian Basin, the Odessa Chuck Wagon Gang has no plans to stop sharing their food and hospitality. And still ahead, the House passes a bill that could ban TikTok for U.S. users. We've got the latest on that decision and more in your social media news on CBS7 News at 9. In a bipartisan vote, the House passed a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban of TikTok if its China-based owner doesn't sell its U.S. operations. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok! TikTok content creators protested outside the Capitol as House lawmakers passed a bill that could bring a nationwide ban if TikTok's China-based owner doesn't sell its stake.
This app is so much more than just an app for dumb TikTok dances.
Lawmakers raised concerns that ByteDance's ownership of TikTok poses a national security threat because of Chinese laws on intelligence gathering.
It's simply a divestiture of TikTok so that this social media platform can be owned by an American company that would protect the data and the privacy of the American consumer from malignant foreign interests like the Chinese Communist Party.
While others argue that fears about TikTok may be unfounded.
We have yet to receive one piece of public evidence that actually shows that somehow China is actually negatively using our data. That has not been proven.
TikTok has more than 150 million American users. TikTok's CEO released a video on the social media platform after the bill passed in the House.
Over the last few years, we have invested to keep your data safe and our platform free from outside manipulation. We have committed that we will continue to do so.
The bill, which passed by a wide margin, next goes to the Senate, where its prospects remain unclear. President Biden has said if Congress passes the measure, he will sign it. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
CBS News has learned that TikTok paid to fly and lodge some of its most popular users to Washington this week to make their case against the bill. If it becomes law, it would give ByteDance 6 months to sell the video sharing app, or it would be removed from web hosting services in the United States. All 3 congressional representatives that serve the West Texas area voted to pass this bill. And in more social media news, Reddit is getting ready to go public. The social networking site revealed it expects to price shares between $31 and $34 when it's making its initial public offering. Reddit is getting ready to go public, and the site revealed on Monday that it expects prices to shares to go between $31 and $34 when it makes its initial public offering. That is expected to take place sometime later this month. The announcement gives potential investors additional information to evaluate if they want to buy stock in the company.
Well, the wind is starting to calm down across the area, so fire danger concerns are going down. Then our attention turns to a cold front and what it's going to do to the forecast. We'll take a look at it up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we're starting to get a bit of a break from the winds. They have calmed down quite a bit across the area. Looking outside on a live iCam in Odessa, that flag at Music City Mall not moving around too much. The strongest winds are up here across portions of Lee County, where we are seeing gusts upwards to 21 miles an hour, but they seems like they have calmed down a little bit. So we're getting things to be a little nicer out there. Still carrying this red flag warning for another hour for the critical fire danger. No outdoor burning is recommended until we get these winds start to calm down across the area. Taking a look at the weather makers, we had one little disturbance roll across, kicking up those winds today, but once the sun set, we saw the mixing or the warming of the atmosphere start to settle down a little bit, so we're not seeing as much in the way of those strong winds. But this trough of low pressure is going to continue to spit disturbances out across the area. One's going to swing a strong cold front through late Thursday, early into Friday. And then we'll see some rain chances, even some thunderstorm chances early on Friday and again coming up this weekend as cooler air starts to roll into the area. Already a few light rain showers across portions of the Texas Panhandle. Not a lot, though, reaching the ground. It's evaporating before it does reach the ground, but a welcome change there is that weak front starting to drop down. Still have that dry line off to the east. It'll retreat to the west a little bit, then move east again coming up tomorrow. And it helped warm temperatures up all the way to 99 in Laredo. That was a hot spot a little earlier today. Now, taking a look at the futurecast, seeing that we are going to see a little quieter day on the way, maybe a mix of high clouds and sun in the forecast, really about it. Until we get the approach of that next front, it's going to bring in some clouds, it looks like, as we'll pick up more of an east to northeast wind with that front. And then some thunderstorms firing up with the disturbance first thing on Friday morning, but clearing out by the afternoon. But we're going to be socked in with the clouds, and that's going to keep temperatures down. A little chilly overnight tonight, waking up to temperatures into the upper 40s with lighter winds in the forecast. And that's why we'll have tomorrow, west wind out there, but not quite as gusty. So good news there. But the warm temperatures are going to hang around in our forecast before things really start to cool off with some thunderstorms early on Friday, some light rain, a possibility early in the morning hours Saturday into Sunday. And look at those temperatures dropping down into the 50s for highs by the end of the week.
Boeing's slew of recent mechanical problems is having a ripple effect. Southwest Airlines says that it plans to hire less people in 2024 because of Boeing, its aircraft supplier. They're expected to deliver far fewer planes due to safety concerns. United Airlines likewise is cutting back on pilot hiring because of Boeing's expected manufacturing and certification delays. This could all cost Boeing big money and potentially cause a snag within the travel industry. John Loring reports.
2024 has not been kind to Boeing thus far, and that trend isn't likely to change anytime soon.
I think Boeing's in for a long, hard year.
On Monday, according to a passenger, a 787 Dreamliner heading from Australia to New Zealand abruptly dropped hundreds of feet mid-flight in what LATAM Airlines called a technical event.
And I opened my eyes and there was various individuals at the top of the plane, just stuck to the roof, and then they fell to the floor.
Last month, the United Airlines 737 MAX reported jammed flight controls during a landing in New Jersey. And in another case, the FAA found issues with de-icing equipment for some Boeing planes.
That they have fallen to this level is really quite distressing.
The NTSB is also looking into the January 5th Alaska Airlines flight where part of a 737 MAX door plug blew off the side of the plane shortly after takeoff. Alaska Airlines says the plane in question was due for maintenance on the same day of the incident. The FAA says it's given Boeing until May to come up with a plan to fix issues listed in a federal audit. Analysts say these problems could end up costing Boeing billions.
It is indeed. It's an unmitigated disaster for Boeing.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A former Boeing employee who served as a whistleblower about the company's production standards was discovered dead this past weekend in South Carolina. Authorities say it appears that 62-year-old John Barnett died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In a statement to CNN, lawyers for Barnett said, quote, John was in the midst of a deposition in his whistleblower retaliation case, which finally was nearing the end, unquote.
Well, we are going to get a nice break from the wind coming up tomorrow. It actually won't be too bad today before that cold front arrives, and that won't happen until late in the evening, early part of the overnight. When it does, we're going to see cooler temperatures, even a few scattered showers and thunderstorms to wake up to on Friday morning, and then the cool weather, occasional light rain, maybe some showers in the forecast over the St. Patrick's Day weekend, and it looks like maybe a cool start for spring next week.
All right, so get the sweaters ready. Lightweight sweaters, cardigans. All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight on CBS 7 News at 10.